Hey hairdressers, I'm Sid Charisse.
And I'm David Bosher, and we are Destroy the Hairdresser. At Destroy the Hairdresser, we are head over heels for Aura salonware. Why? Because Aura is the only salonware that flawlessly supports every one of the Destroy the Hairdresser game-changing methods. From station sharing and cashless payments to offering true scheduling freedom and more, Aura's got it all. Wrapped in a beautiful, easy-to-use package, it's perfect for everyone, whether you're an independent stylist or managing multiple salon locations. Plus, Aura's robust features help streamline your operations and boost your bottom line. Ready to elevate your salon? Visit aurasalonwear.com/DTH for exclusive discounts and start your journey today. Give your clients great hair with fewer products and make more money with less inventory. Introducing Hair Story, a mindful and innovative brand. Hair Story's game-changing product, New Wash, cleans and conditions without harsh foams or detergents, restoring your scalp's natural balance. Made with gentle, biodegradable ingredients and recyclable packaging, it's good for your hair and the planet. With Hair Story Pro, earn a 25% commission on client purchases either in person or online. Plus, enjoy free education, wholesale pricing, and special client discounts. Try New Wash for free and get pro access today at hairstory.com/DTH.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I have another incredible guest with me today. I'm just like whipping through guests, having big conversations, and it's actually been really fun because I get to sit down with all of our coaches and have like real chats. So, of course, I am bringing on another special guest. But first, before I introduce all of you, I know I just screamed in your ear. Just a reminder that Hairdresser Hotline is still hot and active and blowing up every day. I swear to you, we get new voicemails, new text messages. Remember, no one's going to be responding to you. You don't have to write your name, but we will be reading them on air. And the number is 201-564-5007. That's 201-564-5007. Okay, off to our special guest. Drum roll. Not a good drum. I need like a sound effect. Welcome, Coach Kris, which is hard to say because I always want to call you Christina, but it's so funny.
You can call me whatever you like.
Hey, beautiful. It's funny because like I go by Sid, but like my full name is Sydney Charisse, so like I love it. But okay, first off, tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about you. I know this is like the worst like prompt, right?
I know. My name is Coach Kris Centino. I am a DTH coach. I am a salon owner, a stylist, an educator, a mom, a wife, and all the other things.
See, that was great. You were worried. You're like, what do I say about myself? You did great. That's exactly what I expected. All right, let's just jump into the grit of it all.
Let's get into it.
Tell us how long you have been, in a nutshell, in the DTH kind of universe.
It has been over 5 years now.
That's wild.
I know.
That is so wild to think about because in my head, you were my student like yesterday. So I'm like,
right.
What is happening? Okay, I want you to channel back to that energy of like who you were. I want you to describe who you were, like where you were working. What was your experience? Like when you booked that call to like, I need freaking help. When you booked that discovery call, like what, tell us, take us back.
I was at Mess Express. I was literally at a point in my career where I was like, either something changes or I just leave the industry. Like I cannot continue at where I am, what I'm doing. I was in like the peak of my fight mode of just just wanting to blow up the world. I worked
That's how it feels too. Like when you're like spiraling like that, you're like, I'm just going to burn everything down.
Yeah. And I kind of did. I had worked in that salon that I was in at the time for about 7 years. It's the only salon I knew. Like I went there while I was in beauty school. I started assisting there.
Wow.
And so when it's the only thing you know, it kind of just is like, you just go with the flow because you don't know any different.
This is how things are.
Right. And then at that point, I had been educating with a product company for a few years. I had been traveling all over the country, meeting stylists and salon owners and like just getting this exposure. And I was like, something fundamentally wrong here.
I'm burnt out. I'm exhausted. I don't have money. Like, what is
Right.
going on?
I had a salon owner that was like straight up like you work 4 days a week. Your life happens outside of there. You're not allowed to take off. You're not allowed to raise your pricing. You have to work till like fucking 12-hour days. Like it was, you have to sell retail. You have like, and what was I getting out of it? And on top of that,
Yeah.
we had zero support staff, but we were expected to do everything to the point where like I was essentially a manager role and running her business because I was her longest employee at that point with
Without the
no pay, no benefit in any way, shape, or form to it.
And of course, stupidly, we're always like, yes.
Right.
Right? Like we
Yeah.
have to go back to like, I love when people get really mad about that. It's like, but you said yes. And I've done it too. I've definitely been that people pleaser. I've been like, maybe this will get me to maybe I just want the ego and the cred, but like eventually I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
I can't work that hard for someone else's business with nothing in return. And like, then it just got like real toxic there because there was no boundaries either. So I was literally just like, they were so mean to me. And I would just come home crying, and to the point where my now husband was like, you need to quit. I was like, but what do you mean? What else am I going to do? Like, I was distraught. And then I found DTH on Instagram, like the universe aligned. And I was like, I think I'm just going to reach out to them because like, at this point, what do I have to lose?
I don't remember because at that time I feel like we didn't have Beck so we were still doing like our calls. Did we talk?
Yes, you and I directly did.
Me? Okay.
Yes.
I'm like, because sometimes people have talked to David and then they got put with me and then like it went back and forth.
No, I was directly with you through its entirety. And I remember like being like, oh my God, like what I am I going to do this coaching thing? Like, can I afford this? Can I do this? And then I like this switch flipped in my brain. I was like, I can't afford not to do this. Like there is no other option right now because it's either you quit the industry and go find some 9-to-5 job that you're also going to be miserable at, or you invest in yourself and your future and you find a better way.
Yeah. And it's just like, I remember like some of our first coaching calls where it was just like complete panic because you were under so much pressure too. And also like, it's so terrifying to make that big change. Like, what were you supposed to do? But tell us, because I don't want to tell your story. Tell us more about like the journey of what came next.
So you and I had started working on a lot of things. I was just keeping it all very quiet. I hadn't even told the owner that I had done coaching because at that point she had literally said to me, like, you just think you're better than us. So I was like, yeah, so I'm just not telling you anything that's going on anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember messaging you because at the time, this is 2019, suites were non-existent in New Jersey. They were still illegal.
Yep.
And I remember seeing like Sola, New Jersey liked your page. And I was like, New Jersey, that's not a thing. So I reached out to you and I was like, do you know what these things are? Because like, I think they're in New Jersey now. And you're like, yeah, go talk to them.
Right now.
And I was like so scared. And I told my husband, I'm like, I need you to come with me. I need like a second person to just bounce this off of. Because at that point, I was like just not in a place to like make my own decisions. I was like so terrified. Like I went, I met, and I was like, this sounds great, but it's also like 45 minutes from where I'm currently working. And like all these other factors. It was so unknown to the entire like New Jersey universe. And I remember like I did my first walkthrough. I kind of left it be. I got to work that week and I like walked in. I'm like, hi, good morning. And like one of the girls just like rolled her eyes and scoffed at me. And I remember literally just going to the back bathroom and calling the manager and being like, how do I leave a deposit?
Yeah, right now.
How do I leave a deposit right now?
You're like, I'm freaking done.
I'm like, I can't do this.
I pulled this up because I was like, I know I still have this in my archives, but I want to read you your submission.
Yes,
so for
please.
you that have never went through the student process or just even signed up for anything with DTH, when you are like, I'm freaking ready to have a coach, you schedule a free coaching call. But there's like a little prompt. We call them our student submission. So it asks you like your name, your number, your Instagram, right? So like before our free coaching call, we can kind of go and like, you know, look at your business and kind of see what's going on so we can have some like, you know, meat to be able to really coach you throughout whatever it's been. And the last question, it says, how can we help you? And you said, I've been behind the chair for 5 years now and want to work on expanding my clientele and better using my social media. My dream is to open my own salon, but I feel like I need more security and steady clientele before making the jump. Oh my God. If we could just hug her.
I know.
Like if she only knew. And it said, there's a question that says, I am. And you're like, there's prompts like a salon owner, a commission, and you're like a hairdresser behind the chair. If I could just keep adding to that title now, like I am this, I am that. Like, it's so wild. Okay. So what came next?
Oh, then I blew up my life and I quit very reactively after I had planned everything out so nice. And then I just blew up my whole life and I was like, today's my last day. I can't do this anymore.
Sometimes you have to blow up your life in order to have the dream you want.
Well, like my husband's family was going on vacation and I asked her if I could go, like, or I asked for time off and not if I could go. I asked for time off and she was like, no, you can't take off on a Saturday. And at first I was like, you're quitting that Saturday anyway. Just like, let it be. And then he left that Thursday morning and I was like, why am I not going?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to control my life like this anymore. And I went to work and I was just like, today's my last day.
That's amazing.
And I drove 5 hours to Virginia through the middle of the night to go meet his family on vacation. And I just turned off my phone for 3 days.
I love that. I want to talk to you about like your, like a lot of the tools, like as a student, like which one in this process, because we're also going to talk about like your journey as a student, because you have done exactly what we expect our students to do. We do not expect our students to be in coaching forever. And it's something we call a boomerang student, where you kind of like you achieve something with your coach and then you take a little break and then you come back and then you achieve. And, you know, you came back and forth so many times and it's incredible because you always came back when you needed to achieve like something bigger, which is so great. Yeah. Tell me about what tool of DTH, like as a student, not you now, just scared the shit out of you. Like was the hardest to either implement or like grasp?
Hourly pricing.
Oh my gosh, I knew you were going to say that. I remember that pricing. Okay, do you remember what your original hourly pricing rate was?
$75 an hour.
And what are you now?
$120.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
and 75 awesome. Was a huge jump because
I remember. But
my hair,
you had expenses. You had different responsibilities. So like you couldn't stay financial bracket anymore.
I shouldn't have stayed at that hourly where I was anyway. Like the previous salon owner wouldn't let me raise my pricing. So I was locked in at 55 for a haircut and whatever the other things were.
It blows my mind.
For like years. So when it came to being 75 an hour, it was like, that was like past due to get to that point anyway. But it was still just scary because I was just so comfortable in being the affordable stylist. And I got to a point where I'm like, I can't be the affordable stylist because then I'm not fucking making a living and I can't support myself. And the clients that are comfortable with me living in poverty don't need to be my clients.
Nope. I love that so much though, because I think that's one thing that hairdressers forget is that like we should make money too. Yeah. Like we spend so much money on our craft, investments in our tools, investment in our education. And then we're like, we just stay the same, but do this immaculate work. It's insane. Tell me a little bit more about kind of your journey. Like you went out on your own,
right?
You're implementing an hourly rate. You're starting to lean into like no tipping. You're starting to lean into a lot of these kind of things that are starting to make you successful. What happened next? How long was the space between being a suite and then opening the salon? Because you opened with Joy.
I opened my salon with Joy. So I opened my suite with you. Then a little less than a year in, like six months into exact, actually, COVID happened.
Yeah. We took a break.
And I just kind of like, at that point, I was just like using all my tools, getting my shit together, building my brand. And then I was like, okay, so the next thing needs to happen. Like we built to where we've capped out. And at that point I was ready to build essentially a micro salon and bring on employees. So I came back in with Joy at that point, and which was great because Joy was your student with me. Yeah. And so like it was a face and someone I was familiar with. So that was lovely.
Yeah.
And so I jumped in with Joy and I was like, okay, I'm ready to bring on stylists. And she was like, okay, start reaching out to people, start your external engagement. That stylist is still with me now. I brought her on a month before I went on maternity leave. I was like, hey, stranger, here's the keys to my business. Run it while I'm out.
Listen, if you can't trust your staff to do that, why are we hiring them?
Right. Like, she was
I trust you guys. Like, if I needed to step away, I trust every single one of my coaches that they could fully be my voice for this company. And that right there is like, you have to think about that when you're hiring your stylist of are they a representation of me and my business and my goals and what I'm trying to achieve, but also their own goals and their own achievements, like all of those things. Because if not, they got to go.
You can't be here. So I brought her on. I went on my maternity leave. Once I went on maternity leave, I took another break because I was like, my time right now is to focus on my family.
Yep.
And then, like a crazy person, I came back from maternity leave and I was like, I need to open a salon now.
Tell your story with you and Joy about looking for the space.
So I came back from maternity leave and I messaged Joy and I was like, I'm back. I'm ready to go. It's time to expand. And I instead of doom scrolling through social media, I was doom scrolling through LoopNet, just like looking for spaces. And I felt exhausted. I was like, there's nothing out there. Nothing fits what I need. And so I jumped on a call with Joy and I said, hey, Joy, can you be another set of eyes? Like there's nothing here. And she straight up looks at this space with me and was like, girl, that is a salon. Call them now.
Yes. And it was closed, right?
It was closed. Yeah. So they had been closed for like over a year. I don't know how I missed this space over and over, which is like, again, I needed another set of eyes. I think I had just like this tunnel vision of I looked at it for too long. And she was like, you need to call them now. And within a week, I had a lease signed.
Wow. Also, for those of you listening, turnkey salons, like
dream.
The best way to open a salon. If you can find a salon that unfortunately has gone under, the plumbing is already set up for a salon, then you're just doing cosmetic, it's not as expensive as having to put in the plumbing, having to, rip out everything, doing like a whole rebuild. So you did exactly what I would suggest in a salon buying opportunity. It's not always available, but when they are, and that's amazing.
It was a dream. Yeah. I mean, I still laugh because I'm like carrying my 4-month-old in a car seat in to do a walkthrough of this space. And I'm just like, hey, and this guy's looking at me like I'm a little nuts, And yeah, within a week I had a lease signed. We did my husband and I we had one contractor for flooring, everything else we did ourselves. We did a 94 days. I was inspected and opened.
Wow. Which feels like an eternity too. Cause you're also
in the moment.
Yeah.
In the moment. Like now I look at it and I'm like, that was 90 days of my life.
Yeah. Done.
In the moment, I was like, what am I doing? 2 a.m, painting these salon walls.
Yep. I remember seeing all of the socials on that, which was incredible. But how freaking beautiful, because now let's really flash forward. You have, tell us how many chairs you have, how many staff members you have. And kind of like where you are at with it.
I now have an 8-chair salon. I have 6 stylists working with me and growing. And it has been the most incredible vision to watch come to life, because each of these stylists that have now been able to come and join in with my business, first of all, it's such an eclectic team, which I really pride myself on, but it's like just watching these people that I was you. Yeah. I was in that space of I don't know what to do. Then realizing, oh, there is another way.
Yep. It doesn't have to be that hard.
Right.
No, your success story is so beautiful. And I love that we're bringing the coaches on the podcast now, because, for a while there we were in the studio and it was just hard to get everyone to fly to Chicago. And the fact that we can just have this, because your story is one to be shared. That's also why you're a coach. Yeah. It's funny because we just did last month an episode with Kyle, and she said that she was like, I had so much success from this program. How could I not be a coach? How could I not share all of what I've learned with other 100%. People?
100%. I feel like it's one of those pay it forward kind of things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a coach to walk around and be like, I'm a mindset and business coach. That actually feels kind of gross to me.
Yeah, same. It's no, the industry is still hurting. They're still suffering. I mean, so many people need help, and they're in so much pain, and it's so simple. Right. It really is so simple.
To me, it felt like once I was in a position to own the knowledge that I had learned, it was time for me to share that knowledge.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Hey hairdressers, are you looking for health insurance? It's time to get healthy with Hairdresser Healthcare, the only coverage designed specifically for the beauty industry. Whether you're an independent stylist, a salon owner with a team, a makeup artist, or a massage therapist, we've got you covered with comprehensive and affordable benefits. Options for self-enrollment and year-round open enrollment. Taking control of your health has never been easier, and the best part is it's available in every state. Visit hairdresserhealthcare.com and take control of your health today because you, your team, and your family deserve it.
When did you know, was there a moment where you were like, I need to be a coach, I need to apply? I mean, you have been on my radar for a long time. Joy has been your biggest advocate too of like,
I love Joy.
Like Joy literally said in a meeting, we were talking and we were talking about potential students that were like making changes, and she was talking about one of your successes, and she's like, I still don't understand why she's not one of these squares in this meeting, like on Zoom. And then soon after you applied, and we were like, okay, like this person is like has done the work, has invested. You've done exactly what we want with students. Like we don't expect our students to stay forever. You've come and gone. You use this as a tool to advance yourself, not necessarily like you didn't make us like, you didn't, we always say like, don't make us your light. Like we're just a tool to help you be the light, right? Like, so we weren't your end all be all, but you were like, okay, I'm going through something. I need to lean on my coaches. And like, that's so beautiful because that's the journey that we want. Absolutely. But when was this moment for you where you're just like, I have to apply, I have to be a coach? Like it's non-negotiable anymore.
I think when I was doing a you and me with one of my team members, and she just looked at me and she was like, you have changed my life.
I love that.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, first of all, what an honor to have someone say that to you. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I have to go beyond my team now. Because if I'm capable of making this change with someone that works within this space, I am capable of helping so many other people.
Yeah. As a educator, a coach, which tool is your favorite to teach now?
Emotional intelligence. Hands
down. Really? I was hoping you were going to say
hands down. Because like if anything, no, you know what?
Nothing works without emotional intelligence.
Well, and that's why. And I think if people like met the girl that sent in that submission and then met me, they'd be like, how?
Doesn't add up.
How did that happen? But all of it came because I truly had to like rebuild the foundation of how my mind worked.
Yeah.
Because I was my own worst enemy.
Yes. I think that, like, I mean, I can't stress this enough. That's all we really teach in this program. Yes, there's tools. We talk about a lot of things, but the tools are based on emotional intelligence, problem solving, critical thinking. Okay, I'm not making enough money. I don't value myself. I'm in this loophole of being, trapped to living off my tips and not making enough money on paper. Okay, let's charge for our time. Let's think bigger. Like It's bigger consciousness. Let's remove tipping, bigger consciousness, personal responsibility, accountability, right? Like they all go hand in hand. So I mean, I do think that's a great answer because once you start to teach someone emotional intelligence, and we see this all the time, if I came at you and I was like, hey, let's talk about removing the front desk, it could be a meltdown. Well, I can't run my salon without a front desk, right? Like it doesn't work. But if I start to really teach you emotional intelligence, the why, like I said, like teaching you really to streamline your business, then you're like, I don't need a freaking front desk. This is a waste of money.
Yeah.
You start to think that. And it's hard to say in a podcast episode, like definitely emotional intelligence, personal responsibility, critical thinking, they're very big buzzwords, but they're so unique to the individual that I can't say what exactly the steps are to each because it is all based on what challenges the individual is having. And then we use those tools to help solve problems.
And what reactivity is coming out in that person depends on how we're going to approach that. Because like for me, I was fight. Yes. Which was actually like I learned through emotional intelligence. I've been able to use that as a tool to like fuel myself and like push forward. But I had to like learn how to use it instead of it being like a detriment to me because it truly at that time it was.
No, and it's true when we don't understand our own reactive systems, they are harmful to us, but they can be incredible tools. Like, I talk about that all the time.
It's like 5 years ago, if you said, here's a 1,200 square foot salon with 8 chairs and here's a team of 6 people, go lead them. In no way, shape, or form was I capable to do that. Mm-hmm. But by honing in that emotional intelligence and that reactivity and learning the personal responsibility and the self-awareness, I've now built my vessel and my capacity to a point where I can lead and manage that space and team.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it comes down to. And that you just have to get in it. Like I tell people all the time, like we're not a coaching program that does like you sign a contract, but in that contract, it's telling you what you're paying for. So if anything, it's holding us accountable. Like the contract says like you get this many calls, you get that like what you're getting as a paying student, but you can cancel anytime. There is no contract like a financial commitment. If you sign up for a month, you can cancel and then be done with it. But I always tell people, I'm like, just sign up, just try a month, like try a month of coaching, because the amount that you're going to get in that 1 month is going to be, I know you won't quit. I know you will not cancel. Like I already know it.
Well, because once the door's open, there's no closing it again.
How do you go back after you learn these? Like you can't. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Like, and that's why we have so many boomerang students, because it's like, I'm running my complete business like this. I've invested in this knowledge. I've invested in this way of doing things. So now when I need support, I need to come back to that program to continue that system. So no, I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I love the freedom that we're not only telling you all to have within your space, but like that's been a big mission for David and myself, of having that freedom internally in our business as well. Last question. I want to know what you're taking students. How many students are you taking right now?
I'm 10.
10. So your spots. What is your ideal student? Like, I want you to describe the person that you want to work with. Like, I'm hoping that it's a call. They're like, that's me. And then they sign up.
My ideal person is the person that wants to burn it all fucking down.
I love that so much.
Because I will help you light the match.
You're fed up. And then walk them through it. Like,
right.
You're fed up. You're burnt out.
Like sometimes I truly believe that like when you're at that point where like, I want to burn it all down. Okay, because that means we're ready to build a new foundation. And I will help you brick by brick build up that new foundation to exactly what you want your life to represent and be.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's the best thing about having a coach is like someone truly is, you're doing the work, but your coach is guiding you. Your coach is pushing you. Your coach is holding you accountable. Like, we're holding your hand through the whole thing. Like you're never alone.
It's like the meme that's like, all right, hold my hand, and then just start running.
That's exactly it. I'm going to put that up. That's exactly what coaching is. I love it. Oh, well, thank you for sharing your story. I think it's super inspirational, and I think we need to scream it from the mountaintops. I think you need to talk about it more than just in this podcast.
Absolutely.
Because it's a very well-earned success story, and you're not done. You're still
I'm nowhere near done. There's so much more ahead of.
We're just in the point, and there's so much more. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I love and adore you, and I'm so proud of you. And I love you. Love that we're having this full circle moment of like, I got to be your coach in the beginning, and now you're working for us, and it's just beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Let's face it, selling the same retail that every other salon is selling is not working anymore. It's time to take control of your retail sales and profits with Genesis Private Label. Genesis offers premium plant-powered formulations that are cruelty-free and clinically tested. Start your own line for just $1,000 and take your salon's brand and profits to the next level. As a DTH podcast listener, you get an exclusive deal on your sample kit, usually $149, now just $34.97. Visit genesisprivatelabel.com/DTH and order your sample kit today.